The Sesame Street?
Yes, the Muppets.
Nice. I was always a little confused with Bernie and Ert. You know.
A little disturbing, huh? I like
what was it? Or Ernie, Bert, Bernie, and Ert, whatever. But were they brothers or were they friends? What were they?
I think they were friendly.
But I mean,
I don't know. I don't know psychology. That's a little strange.
But they never made
the
that
guy had
clear.
a rubber ducky. He took baths. What man takes a bath? Who wants to sit in your own filth? What man takes a bath? Think about it.
But they never made that clear.
No, I don't think it was meant to be clear.
But at some point, shouldn't they clarify it now?
Do you want to call up Sesame Street? Who owns it now? Disney? Does Disney own Sesame Street now?
I don't know. It's not the same after Henson.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it changed.
And the guy,
it's like when Tom
who was
Carvel
doing
passed
the
away.
Elmo voice, he got in trouble. I don't know what if it was.
Elmo. Yeah, it was recently.
Whatever. I don't want.
What'd you think of Snuffleupagus? Kind of strange.
Yeah.
I kind of like Oscar. I'm kind of like Oscar. A little
Grouch.
Yeah.
Grouch?
Get away from me, kid.
All right, let's get on to our picks for this year for our fantasy fans out there looking for who they think is going to kick some butt in these categories here. Who is your pick for the National League batting champion 2014?
Well, I don't think Michael Kadire is going to repeat. I've been pondering with McCutchen, Votto, and I think the dark horse might be Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman is my pick, Michael.
Is he really?
He is my pick.
Great minds think alike.
I'm
going to go with I think McCutchen, we might see him slip down a little bit. Same thing with Votto. And I think Freeman's going to bloom this year. Not that he hasn't, been great.
Freddie Freeman is my pick. All right. I was vilified on that on Sirius XM. Fred Mish vilified me. He said I wasn't allowed to pick that.
Was it some guy that calls himself the king?
No, it wasn't. Although he didn't come to my defense. All right.
Of course not.
And AL batting champion. Who do you got?
AL batting champion.
AL batting champion.
Okay, Miguel Cabrera, 5 straight 300-plus seasons. Incredible. Cano, what's he going to do over in Seattle? I think Mike Trout. Mike Trout.
I'm going to go Cano.
You're going to go
Cano?
But
he was one of your finalists.
I thought about him, but I just think playing out in Seattle, not having Yankee Stadium, not having the hitters around him.
You know what? There's been so much talk about that's why I think it's going to happen.
I could see that. I could go with a Cano beating Trout out, but I'm going to go with Mike Trout.
All right. Let's go back to the National League, and let me hear your home run champion.
Eliminate Ryan Braun.
Why?
Well, PEDs. Come on. Really? I mean, he's not on the juice, so I'm taking that away.
Do you think his whole career, like since he came out of Miami,
yes, I do.
The entire thing?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I do.
This is a sore point.
It is. I don't like it. It bothers me. Take out Pedro Alvarez, not so much. I'm going to go with Paul Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt. Nice Italian boy.
Yeah, nice Italian boy.
I'm going to go with Giancarlo Stanton, who I liked a lot better before he changed his name when he was just Mike Stanton. But he changed it. Well, he's always hurt. So I'm going to go with Stanton. You're going to go with Goldschmidt. Yes. All right, in the American League, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Cabrera again. I mean, I don't know how you stray away from that.
Part of the reason I didn't pick him for the batting champ
it's so obvious that
I think it's too. I just have this feeling. I know he got hurt towards the end of last year.
Right.
I'm just thinking maybe
this is when he constantly dropped a little
somebody
bit.
Else. I'm gonna pull one from out of my ass, and I'm gonna pick one that nobody else is gonna pick. I don't think. I'm gonna pick Chris Carter for the Houston Astros.
Boy, that is pulling one.
Now I think he'll hit.
You're going so low. You're almost
deep into the 40s. I don't know what his batting average is going to be. I'm going to go with
what about
Chris
Bautista?
Carter. He had the wrist thing. No, I think I'll have a decent year. I don't think he'll be the home run champion.
Okay, moving on.
All right, stolen base champion, National League.
I think because the Mets need to force some runs and need some kind of offense. I think we could look to Eric Young.
I don't think he's going to have enough playing time. I think Juan Lagares is going to win that spot, and I think he's going to have to kind of platoon, be the fourth guy. I think now he can still get 40 bases doing that. I just don't think in the end he'll get enough playing time.
I think he's going to make the most of his playing time.
He probably will.
And somebody's going to get hurt.
He did last season.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
It's been his problem throughout his career. He can't hold his. I'm going to go with this phenom Billy Hamilton in Cincinnati, who stole 2 years ago 150-something bases or whatever it was in the minor leagues. Now, nobody knows if he's going to be able to get on base enough to do it, but they're going to give him a shot. So I'll go with him. And in the AL, I'm going to go. Even though it's the odd year, I'm going to say that
You
Jacoby
favors-
Ellsbury is going to be able to stay in the lineup enough and do it.
I'm going to go with a surprise for you. I'm going to go with the return of Jose Reyes. He only had 15 last year, but 2012 he had 40 steals.
On that surface, I don't see it. He did the ankle last year. I mean,
That's a
listen,
return year, though. He's kind of like on that Jacoby Ellsbury thing, the on-off kind of year.
maybe.
What about Michael Bourne?
I think he just they pulled a hamstring or something the other day. Those are candidates.
It's been 5 years since he had 60 steals, so
I think it would surprise a lot of people if Reyes got back to really running a lot, but he certainly got the talent to do it. All right, runs scored, National League. Who's going to lead the league in runs scored?
St. Louis led the National League in runs scored with 783. So I'm going to go with Matt Carpenter. He led him last
You
year.
really can't go wrong with your logic there.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong with it. I don't know. It's hard. This is hard to game for me. But I'm just going to go because I think
You
he's
got to go
going
with
to have
teams
a.
that score run. Like, look at the Marlins. They scored 503.
No, it's not going to be anybody on the Marlins.
It's
I'm going
not
to go
gonna
with
be the
Bryce
Mets.
Harper. I'm going to go with
I
Bryce
like
Harper. I think he'll have his breakout year, and I don't know that he'll lead the league in any of these other categories, but I think he has a good chance to do it in runs scored. And in the American League, I'm going to go with the guy who I think is going to be the batting champion in Robinson Cano.
Well, Boston led the American League in runs with 853.
Yeah, but Ellsbury is a big part of that. He's
Right.
not there anymore.
White Sox only had 598, but I'm going to go with Mike Trout.
White Sox only had 598. Wow.
Yeah, Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. All right, so you
I
think
mean,
Trout's going to have a big
to
year?
consider Cabrera. He's had over 100 since 2010. Adam Jones back-to-back 100-run seasons, so he's not exactly on everybody's radar.
Well, I think Chris Davis has got to have his season again
Right.
for that.
So maybe if you want to tell me Adam Jones, maybe yeah. And Adam Jones plays in that Eric Davis kind of mold a little bit, very similar body type and has similar abilities.
All right, let's move on to National League ERA champion. I'm going to go with Jose Fernandez, not Clayton Kershaw. I'm going to pick Jose Fernandez.
Well, those were the
Sophomore season.
Those are the two names there, and I kind of agree with you on that. And this could be the breakout year we see from Jose Fernandez. Maybe a little kind of like that year that this is going to be his kind of year. So I would agree with you on that.
And then in the American League, I'll go with Yu Darvish for the ERA champion.
I have Sanchez, Darvish, and Verlander. I am going to go with Verlander. I think Verlander's going to come back to what he was.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
And Clay Buchholz had a 1.74 ERA last year.
I don't know if he
But
had
only
enough-
108 innings. He only had
What
108
do you
innings.
need to qualify? Was that enough to qualify? No.
Clearly not, because he wasn't there.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, wins in the National League. I can't just totally pretend that Kershaw's not there. I'll give that to Kershaw.
Wins in the National League. Where do I have that here? I'm looking through my thing here. Wins in the National League.
You pick a winner.
Pick a winner. I'll go with Kershaw as well. I don't know why.
Or do you have anybody in the American League like
No,
wins?
I have. Wait a second. In the American League. I'm going with. I have Scherzer, Verlander, and I think Price is going to have a bounce back win.
David Price. Okay.
I'm gonna
I'll go
David
with
Price.
Masahiro Tanaka. So the Japanese are just going to kick butt in pitching this year between Darvish and Tanaka. Just going
Boy.
to wipe up clean. Yeah.
You're buying the sushi this year.
I don't
huh?
think he's going to be much of a strikeout pitcher, but I think he'll. What he was 24-0 last year in Japan. The Yankees should be hitting the ball. He should get some run support. Look, he's as good as anybody you're picking.
No, I don't see it. I just.
Well, when have you seen Tanaka pitch?
I see some of his stuff. He's not exactly Dwight Gooden here.
Look, he was
Hideki
24-0.
Ra-
24-0 is 24-0.
Yeah, in the end, yes.
Well, wins. That's what we're
Hideki Rama
picking.
was supposed to be the next Nolan Ryan. How'd that work out?
He did better than Kagawa.
Okay, Gawa. Did he ever pitch in the majors?
A little bit.
Very, very little.
Strikeouts for the National League, I'm giving it to Kershaw, and for the American League, I'm going to give it to Darvish, which I think may have been the two leaders from last year.
I'm going to go with Scherzer in the American League,
Okay.
and I'll go with Kershaw again. I'm torn between Kershaw and Fernandez.
Yeah, you can't lose there really.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kershaw.
Our right, who's going to have the lowest WHIP, walks plus hits divided by innings pitched in each league? What do you got there?
Got Scherzer in the American League.
Okay.
Who do I have in the National League?
You're a big Scherzer guy this year.
A big Scherzer guy, and I'm going to go with Kershaw in the National League.
I'll go with Jose Fernandez in the National League. I'm high on Jose this year, and I'll go with Darvish. Again, I think Darvish is going to have a fantastic year.
You're loving the Darv.
And then we're going to have some problems with this. So we'll go American League MVP first. This one I don't think we'll have a problem with, but we might have a problem with the National League.
I'm going to go with Mike Trout in the American League. I don't think it's going to be a three-peat for Cabrera.
Okay. I'll go with Robinson Cano, who I think is going to have a fantastic year out there in Seattle and surprise a lot of people. I think there'll be no regression whatsoever. If anything, he'll take off. And in the National League, my National League MVP, the best player in the entire senior circuit this year, steroid-free Ryan Braun.
Ryan, are you kidding me?
Steroid, totally clean. He's a lying, cheating son of a bitch. He got that guy fired. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with what happens between the lines.
What about McCutcheon?
No. His hair is going to prevent him from doing that. I'm
going to go with Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt's a good pick.
I'm going to go with Goldschmidt. I just like saying
you really don't like Ryan Braun.
I don't.
It's a personal thing.
I have.
You can't. You have to keep your professional feelings and your.
I know, but I'm tired in this life of all the cheaters. Whether it's legal, whether it's on Capitol Hill. It's unless
you get caught. It's not. Nothing is legal unless you get caught. That's the way life is.
Yeah, I had a brother who I used to learn how to gamble from. A brother, like a Christian brother.
Yeah, I got it.
And he used to run like the little bookie thing going on when we were like 15 years old, giving out the sheets like who are you going to take, and you'd pick 15 games. Oh, if I bet $1, I win $100. Was the biggest thing. And I said, brother, isn't that wrong? He goes, it's illegal, but not immoral.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So.
I steal from the rich and give to thyself. Robin,
I just got and then you know what? If you did it, admit it, you'll be forgiven. I mean, look how many people talk about it with Andy Pettitte. Nobody. He admitted it. It's gone. It's away.
But that has nothing to do with how he's going to play on the field. Listen, my big thing with him is he actually has so much to prove now. To prove that his whole career hasn't been based on this, that I think he's going to bear down and he's going to be able to.
What about David Wright?
No,
no chance.
How can you pick a Met for anything? Really?
Well, it's great that they have a minor league team in Queens, I always say.
Listen, if they really wanted to win, they would take their best pitchers, which some of them are in the minor leagues, and put them all up there and let them play. What do they got to lose?
I'd rather see some minor league pitchers than seeing Bartolo Colon.
I understand the whole arbitration thing and starting the clock like that, but I can't stand.
Well, that's what got Jeff Torborg fired back in the Marlins in 2003.
But the thing is
they want to bring up Dontrelle Willis.
A pitcher only has so many throws in his arm, and to waste many of those when you're in your early 20s, when you are the healthiest in the minor leagues where they don't count, is foolish to me. So you know what? Remember the Braves? They had Glavine and Smoltz and Avery.
Yeah, Avery.
Now Maddox had come; he wasn't homegrown, but they got out there and they got pelted to the first year or so. They got and look what they turned into. Let them learn on the job. What are they going to win anyway?
Pitchers, when you talk to the old school pitchers, we were talking about our teams from the 70s, pitchers just don't throw enough. You need to develop
with
the
the Mets,
arm and build up the muscle.
If the Mets put the young people out there, they'd I don't know if they fill the ballpark, but they'd get a crowd. When they put these older guys out there who are just journeymen, who's going to want to
How many times over the last 15, 20 years have we heard about the Mets' next prospects? I mean, remember Pulsipher and Isringhausen? They were supposed to be the next thing.
I'd go to the diner with Cologne, but, I
mean, the Mets do have...
Matsuzaka, really?
I mean, but the Mets do have a history of, young pitchers that they're going to bring up, and they wind up getting hurt, and they just kind of disappear. And,
well, the Mets are
still the Mets, since Dwight Gooden, really, what have the Mets really produced on the pitching? Hopefully Harvey returns, and that's kind of it, right? Am I right? Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right, all right. And we'll leave it on that note.
You've got Seaver, Gooden.
That's what you got.
And that's what you got.
Yeah, Harvey's don't really count. You didn't even finish. You didn't even finish it out.
Really, the best pitchers are Matt Locke and Koosman, and you have Gooden and Darling.
Well, Darling wasn't a homegrown guy. I think he came from
it was
Texas.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
so, but he came up with the Met.
Like David Cohn, he wasn't a homegrown guy. Sid Fernandez, El Cid. He was my guy.
He just got too fat for his own knees.
He was a little like Cologne. So. All right, that's all for today. This week in fantasy baseball, this was our first show. Enjoy the 2014 baseball season. We'll be back each and every week. For Mike and Mike, we'll see you next week.